Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive.
Hmm.
This time, we're really digging into community development in Baltimore,
Okay.
specifically with the historic East Baltimore Community Action Coalition, or,
HEBCAC.
yeah, HEBCAC.
Yeah,
We've got a lot here today.
we do.
Meeting minutes, project proposals, funding overviews, all sorts of stuff about their work on the Eager Street project. So what's the big picture here? What are we looking for,
I think the Eager Street project is really like a case study
right?
for all the different things going on with revitalization in the city.
Of
You
course.
can really see the potential, but also all the challenges that come up.
So maybe we start with the basics for anyone who
Yeah.
maybe hasn't heard of this. What is the Eager Street project?
Okay, so the Eager Street project is a partnership,
Okay.
and it's got some interesting partners involved.
Okay.
So EBCHAC, they have a 5% ownership stake.
Got it.
And then there's AE Holdings LLC, also with 5%.
Okay.
But here's the thing. AE Holdings is actually David Haas's personal company. He's the one who kind of got this whole project started, but it seems like he's moved on since then.
Interesting.
Then the majority shareholder, that's Healthy Planet LLC,
Okay.
which is Ted Rouse's company, and they have 90%.
Wow. So they're the big...
Yeah, they're the big players.
Wow.
And their goal is to redevelop vacant houses
Right.
in the Griffin Homes neighborhood.
Right.
And they want to create homeownership specifically for low to moderate income families.
So that sounds like a really good thing on paper.
It does.
But I'm also seeing in these meeting minutes that there's some tension,
Oh, yeah.
some homeowner grievances.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's going on there?
Well, this is where things get complicated
Oh, what are
with the
they?
community development.
Okay.
Because on the surface, you've got a project that wants to revitalize a neighborhood,
Right.
create some affordable housing,
Sounds great.
which, that's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then when you look a little closer, you see homeowners voicing concerns, saying they didn't really get all the information,
Yeah.
or that their needs aren't really being met.
Interesting.
They're saying they were misled about a discount on the homes, and they're claiming there are all these construction defects.
So you've got this conflict
Yeah.
between the homeowners and the developers.
Yeah.
What do you think is causing that?
It seems like there's just this disconnect
Yeah.
in expectations
Right.
and communication.
Uh-huh.
This happens a lot with community development.
I see.
People just assume that everyone understands the financial side of things,
Oh, okay.
which can be really complicated.
Okay.
For example, there's a whole dispute over this Maryland historic tax credit.
Oh, yeah. I saw that in here somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a concept paper about that.
Yeah.
So can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah.
How does the tax credit work? And how does it relate to what the homeowners are upset about?
Okay, so the tax credit, it's kind of like a bridge loan
Okay.
to help the developers pay for the upfront costs. But just like any loan, it needs to be paid back.
Right. Of course.
The problem is it seems like they didn't really explain that clearly
What?
to the homeowners.
Got it.
So the homeowners, they probably thought it was just a discount.
Like a straightforward discount.
Yes, not something they'd have to pay back later.
So a big misunderstanding there.
Yeah, exactly.
But it seems like it's not just the tax credit
Right.
that's causing issues. They're also talking about,
Yeah, they're saying the construction wasn't done right.
like, the work wasn't
Yeah, like the quality.
enough.
And they want things fixed.
Right.
And this is tough for HEBCAC
Oh, how so?
because they want to support the homeowners,
Sure.
but they also have to manage all the project funds
Okay.
and make sure the whole project is successful.
So they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, they're trying to balance the needs of the residents with the financial side of things.
Which brings up a big question.
Yeah.
How do you actually make sure everyone benefits from these community development projects?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
And I think to really understand that, we have to zoom out
Okay.
and look at the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
Remember how we said the Eager Street project is just one part of something bigger?
Right.
Well, that bigger thing is the Baltimore Regional Neighborhood Initiative.
The BRNI.
Yeah, the BRNI.
And HEBCAC is a big part of that.
Yeah, they are.
And luckily, we have an overview of the BRNI right here on our stack.
Perfect.
So let's see what that tells us about the Eager Street project and everything else they're doing.
Sounds good. This overview is really interesting. It shows how much is happening in this community.
Yeah.
It looks like the BRNI is focusing on a few things.
Okay.
Improving infrastructure,
Okay.
supporting people buying homes,
Right.
and trying to create more opportunities for the people who live there.
So it's not just about fixing up the buildings.
But no, not at all.
It's also about the community itself.
It's about creating a place where people actually want to live
Right.
and want to stay.
Yeah, make it feel like a real neighborhood.
Exactly.
And it sounds like the Eager Street project fits into that,
It does.
with the focus on affordable homeownership.
But there's a lot more going on, too.
Okay, what else?
Well, for example, they're also funding improvements to Northeast Market.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
That's a historic landmark.
Right.
Imagine what a revitalized market could do.
Yeah, bring in more people,
Yeah,
support those local businesses.
exactly.
I'm also seeing here they're investing in vacant lots
Yeah.
and streetscaping projects.
It's all about making the public spaces more welcoming.
More vibrant,
Exactly.
so people feel good about their neighborhood.
And that's so important
Yeah.
for community pride.
It's amazing how all these projects tie together.
It is.
Housing, public spaces, it's all connected.
It's all part of this bigger plan for community development.
But community development is a long game, right?
Oh, definitely.
It's not going to happen overnight.
It takes time to build relationships and trust.
Yeah.
And to get everyone working together.
Which brings us back to those homeowner grievances.
Right.
It sounds like communication is key.
It is.
So what exactly are the homeowners saying?
Well, there are three main things.
Okay.
The discount, the construction defects,
Okay.
and the tax credit repayment.
Right.
Let's start with the discount.
Okay.
The developers say the homeowners got a discount because they paid less than it cost to build the homes.
Okay.
But the homeowners say they actually paid more than the appraised value.
So it's like two different ways of looking at it.
Exactly.
And maybe they didn't explain it very well.
Yeah, communication is key.
Now, what about the construction defects?
The homeowners are saying there are all sorts of problems with the quality of the work.
Like what kinds of problems?
Well, various things.
Okay.
And they want them fixed.
Of course.
And HEBCS is trying to figure out how to handle these claims.
I see. In the minutes, they're talking about using project funds
Yeah.
to pay for some of the repairs.
And they might even try to get the contractor to pay for some of it.
So they're trying to find a balance,
Yeah.
help the homeowners, but also stay on budget.
It's tough.
And then there's the whole tax credit issue.
Right.
It seems like there was some misunderstandings there.
About what it was.
Yeah.
And how it worked.
And who had to pay it back?
Exactly.
It seems like HEBCAC is really trying to sort this out.
They are.
They want the project to be successful,
Yeah.
but they also want to be fair to the homeowners.
It's a difficult situation.
It really shows how tricky community development can be.
It does.
You've got all these different people involved
Yeah.
with different needs and perspectives.
And finding a way to make everyone happy
Yeah.
is not always easy.
And then on top of all that, the minutes mentioned that the homeowners filed a complaint
Oh, wow.
with the Attorney General's office.
So now there's an outside party involved? Things are getting serious.
So what does that mean for the project?
It could mean delays,
Okay.
extra costs,
Oh.
maybe even legal action.
Wow.
It's definitely adding another layer of complexity.
So what is HEBCAC doing about this?
Well, it looks like they're trying a few things.
Right.
First, they're trying to come up with a clear process for dealing with the repair claims.
Okay.
They're even talking about hiring someone independent to review everything and make sure the repairs are actually necessary.
So that's good.
Yeah, it's all about transparency
Right.
and accountability.
And then it looks like they're considering using project funds to cover some of those repairs?
Yeah, at least some of them.
Okay.
But they're also hoping to get some of that money back from the contractor.
Right.
Because they think the contractor is responsible for some of these problems.
So they're trying to find a way to make things right
Yeah,
without breaking the bank.
exactly.
And they're also open to mediation with the homeowners.
Yeah, through the Attorney General's office.
So maybe they can work things out that way.
It's all about finding a compromise that
Yeah.
works for everyone.
But even with all that, it's clear that this is a huge challenge for EBCAC.
It is.
And it really makes you think about what community development is all about.
What does success really look like?
Yeah.
Is it just about the numbers? Or is it about something more?
It has to be about the people who live there, right?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't just focus on the numbers.
It's about quality of life.
Right.
Making people feel like they belong.
Okay.
Giving them opportunities.
But like you were saying before, it's a balance.
It is.
You don't want to push people out in the process.
Exactly.
Like what happens if the neighborhood gets so expensive that the people who lived there before can't afford it anymore?
That's displacement.
Right.
And that's something we really want to avoid.
So how do you do that? How do you make sure everyone benefits?
It takes a lot of things.
Like,
You have to really understand the community.
okay.
What do people need? What do they want?
Right. And you need strong partnerships.
Between the developers and...
The residents.
Okay.
It can't just be one-sided.
It seems like that's part of the problem with the Eager Street project.
It could be.
Like maybe there wasn't enough communication...
It's possible.
...between HEBCAC and the homeowners.
And now they're trying to fix it. But it's a tough situation.
It is.
So what do we learn from this?
Yeah. What are the big takeaways here?
Well, I think the biggest thing is transparency.
Okay.
Being open and honest from the very beginning.
Yeah, setting clear expectations.
Exactly.
And making sure everyone feels like they're being heard.
You can't just assume everyone's on the same page.
And we have to move beyond just thinking about affordable housing.
Right.
It's not just about the price of the houses.
It's about making sure people aren't displaced.
That they can actually stay in their homes.
And benefit from the changes.
Not get pushed out by rising costs.
Exactly.
So it sounds like community development is really complicated.
It is.
It's not just about fixing up buildings. It's about people.
And it takes time and effort.
And a lot of communication.
So as we wrap up here,
yeah,
what are the key things you hope our listeners are taking away from this deep dive into the Eager Street project?
I hope they see how important communication is in every stage of the process.
And that it's not just about the buildings themselves.
Right.
It's about building trust.
And relationships.
And that we can't forget about equitable development.
Making sure everyone benefits.
Right.
Not just a select few.
And that this is a long-term process.
It is.
It takes time and collaboration and a willingness to adapt.
We're all learning as we go.
Exactly.
There will be challenges, but with the right approach,
we can create communities that are thriving and inclusive.
I believe that.
So for you listening at home,
think about this.
What lessons do you think can be learned from HEBCAC's experience?
How can we apply those lessons to future projects in Baltimore?
How do we make sure revitalization really uplifts communities?
And leaves no one behind.
It's a question worth thinking about.
It's a conversation we all need to be having.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks, everyone.